have learned so much the last decade. I mean, it's not only saved my life.
Because of the illness?
I'm a medically documented miracle from hepatitis C. I was told in 1990, less than 3 years.
Naomi Judd was a country music legend, a star who rose from hardship to win hearts worldwide. But behind the glamour and success lay deep struggles few ever saw. What happens when the perfect public image masks a private storm, a marriage strained by illness, fear, and silence? Larry Strickland, Naomi's husband for over 30 years, recently broke his silence, sharing a story filled with love, pain, and shocking revelations. Their journey wasn't just about music, it was about survival, secrets, and unspoken battles that ultimately defined their lives together. The unseen turmoil. Naomi Judd's life, beneath the glory and applause, was marked by emotional struggles that few outsiders glimpsed. Despite a deep bond with Larry Strickland, the man she married after years of dating, their relationship was far from perfect.
Naomi got a job working in the office of a guy that was our manager, the Stamps manager.
Okay.
Love existed between them, but so did tension, overwhelming pressure, and an undercurrent of unspoken pain. Larry himself has spoken about how the marriage weathered challenges that tested their resilience and left scars not visible on stage or in public appearances. Early on, Larry noticed signs that Naomi was battling more than just the demands of fame. Her moods fluctuated unpredictably, and moments of deep fear and insecurity began to surface. Yet, beneath the smiling celebrity, Naomi was grappling with fears of abandonment, rooted deeply in her personal history. Maintaining a marriage while facing such inner turmoil shaped their years together in ways the public never saw. Larry often found himself caught between wanting to help and not knowing how. There were times when he chose silence, hoping to avoid conflict, but that quiet only sometimes soothed the instability. The strain of living with these unseen battles became a heavy burden, simmering quietly in the background of their lives. Even as they shared successes and joys, complexity quietly wove itself into their marriage's fabric. The fragility beneath their relationship became alarmingly clear during one intense episode. Larry came home after nearly a month on tour to find their bedroom in shambles, wedding photos torn apart, and his belongings thrown outside. Though Naomi said little, the devastation spoke volumes. It was a turning point that revealed the depths of her mistrust and pain, reflecting a deeper fear of betrayal. Even when Larry insisted he had done nothing wrong, the incident demonstrated Naomi's intense emotional response because her anger showed her deep fear of losing what she loved. Larry remembered experiencing shock because he did not know how to react to the situation, which brought him deep sadness about the growing emotional gap between him and the other person. The first event opened a dialogue space for Larry, while it showed the hidden emotional wounds that Naomi endured during her entire life. Naomi showed her intricate emotional state through an emotional breakdown, which revealed her inner conflict between love and fear, her need for protection, and her ongoing struggles with untreated emotional distress. Larry remained devoted to their marriage because he wanted to protect his wife, which made him stay with her every time she felt insecure about their relationship. The couple shared challenges, which created an essential component that helped people understand their complete relationship history. For years, these struggles remained hidden from public view, masked by Naomi's radiant star persona and the duo's musical success. The audience recognized the songs and performances and public image of the duo, but their relationship encountered challenges that tested their dedication. Yet they maintained a permanent connection. Larry's future revelations about the truth brought to light the secret inner conflicts that existed during Naomi's professional journey. The first breakdowns created a pathway that enabled Naomi to experience her most severe challenges, which included mental health struggles and the demands of her public life. The tensions and fears Naomi carried from her past were not sudden, but part of a longer journey shaped by early life hardships and formative experiences. Emotional roots of a star. Naomi Judd's story did not begin under bright stage lights, but in the small town of Ashland, Kentucky, where her childhood was marked by poverty and instability. From a young age, Naomi faced challenges that went beyond financial hardship. Her mother reportedly struggled with mental illness, casting a shadow over Naomi's early years and shaping how she viewed relationships and security. Growing up amid emotional unpredictability, Naomi learned to survive in a world full of uncertainty rather than thrive in comfort. This difficult upbringing left deep emotional roots that would influence her adult life profoundly as a single mother. After divorcing Michael Simonella, Naomi juggled night shifts as a nurse to provide for her two daughters, Winona and Ashley. Life was a constant push toward survival, with little space for emotional bonding or nurturing warmth. Her daughters later described this period as one focused on meeting immediate needs, with family closeness often sacrificed to keep the household afloat. Ashley Judd has spoken candidly about feeling emotionally disconnected from her mother during those years. Raised largely by grandparents while Naomi and Winona traveled for music, Ashley experienced a family dynamic defined by distance rather than intimacy. Though Naomi's presence loomed large in the music world, her availability and emotional connection at home were limited. This created a foundation of complex feelings for her children, intertwining love with unmet needs. Winona explained that she and Naomi maintained a professional relationship during their peak success period, but they established no personal bond between them. The two people maintained public harmony, while they both understood their musical connection did not allow them to know each other better. Their professional success created a public image of their relationship, which actually represented their personal conflicts. The Judds increased their country music popularity during the 1980s, which brought greater public attention to their family while it made existing family conflicts more intense. Naomi showed people how to overcome challenges through her strength, but her successful career brought her extended touring needs, media attention, and demanding work schedules, which created challenges for her family relationships. The mother-daughter duo appeared as a close-knit family through their public image, but their home life showed actual misunderstanding and silent treatments and emotional distance. People noticed Naomi's need to maintain a flawless and unbreakable appearance, which she found impossible to overcome. She developed 3 coping methods during childhood, which included stoicism, persistent advancement, and pain concealment. Yet these methods became more powerful when she performed in front of others. The successful attempts to hide her problems created a deceptive appearance of achievement, which hid her unresolved issues and increasing difficulties that would ultimately affect her relationship with her husband and her psychological well-being. The childhood experiences Naomi carried forward helped explain the fears and insecurities that surfaced later. Her internal battles were intertwined with the very strengths that propelled her career, creating a complex portrait of a woman simultaneously empowered and vulnerable. This background explains the personal sacrifices she made to achieve her public accomplishments. Naomi's early life needs to be understood because it shows all her future struggles. Her narrative shows how love and fear, success and pain existed together in a powerful way throughout her life. As these emotional tensions unfolded within Naomi's personal world, they also began to shape the family dynamics in profound ways, deepening the complexities of her rise to fame and the relationships around her. Rising fame and family strains. Naomi Judd's ascent to country music stardom was rapid and impressive, transforming her from a hard-working nurse into a celebrated performer alongside her daughter, Winona. The Judds quickly became one of the country music scene's most beloved duos, earning multiple Grammy Awards and topping charts with heartfelt songs that resonated with audiences nationwide. Their powerful harmonies and authentic performances crafted an image of strength, unity, and success in the eyes of fans. However, behind the bright lights and sold-out shows, the demands of fame introduced new challenges that strained family relationships. The long tours, exhaustive schedules, and relentless media attention took a toll on the family's emotional cohesion. Naomi found herself caught between the pressure to maintain a flawless public persona and the realities of a home life marked by distance and tension. Larry Strickland's continued touring commitments as a gospel singer meant extended absences from home, intensifying Naomi's feelings of loneliness and isolation. While she managed television appearances, writing projects, and advocacy work after retiring from performing due to illness, the shifting family dynamic created additional emotional strain. The balancing act between career obligations and family needs often leaves these roles in conflict. Naomi's rising fame created difficulties in her relationship with her two daughters. Ashley and Winona both experienced emotional separation because Ashley revealed her feelings of being abandoned and losing emotional connection with others. Winona and her family members maintained physical closeness, yet their relationships suffered from unresolved conflicts and periods of miscommunication. The Judds' stage performance abilities fell short of their needs for connection. Naomi's battle with mental health issues brought about greater differences between her public persona and her actual life. Her internal struggles remained hidden because she needed to show strength and control, which created an appearance she found hard to keep up. The family experienced their deepest rifts through this disconnect that made authentic relationships impossible for them to achieve in both their private and social lives. Naomi dedicated herself to achieving her goals, which required her to hide her emotions while she steered clear of challenging discussions. The established pattern of behavior developed into a continuous cycle that reached two outcomes, which created distance between her and Larry, her spouse. The process of combining their family responsibilities with their public recognition and health challenges created a situation that required them to balance between their loving relationship and their relationship tensions. Larry changed from being a musical collaborator to becoming a reliable presence who stood by his friend during times of growing unpredictability. His dedication to the relationship reached its limit because he remained devoted to her, yet their relationship became impossible to maintain. Their relationship faced constant challenges because they experienced moments when they doubted each other, and their bond reached its limits through their emotional fatigue. The family's narrative demonstrates how fame brings both beneficial and detrimental effects to relationships between people. The massive success of Naomi and her closest associates created new challenges that her previous problems had already dealt with. The hidden costs of achieving public recognition became evident during the private moments that others could not witness. As Naomi faced critical health issues that would further transform her life and marriage, the family's emotional landscape was already shifting beneath the surface, foreshadowing events that would soon shake their world. Health battles and their impact. Naomi Judd's rising fame was soon shadowed by a devastating health diagnosis that changed the course of her life and career. In 1990, Naomi was diagnosed with hepatitis C, a serious liver disease that forced her to step away from performing at the peak of her success. The diagnosis brought fear and uncertainty, as the illness was potentially life-threatening and required difficult treatments. This forced Naomi to retire from the Judds, abruptly pausing a musical journey that had captivated audiences for years. The impact of her illness extended far beyond the physical toll. Naomi grappled with the emotional weight of stepping back from a career she loved deeply. The pressure of having to walk away from the spotlight intensified feelings of loss and vulnerability. Larry Strickland remained by her side throughout this ordeal, providing support. Yet the strain on their marriage became palpable as they confronted the realities of illness and changed futures. While Naomi focused on healing, the couple faced new challenges in adjusting to life without the constant rhythm of touring and recording. Larry continued his gospel music career, which often kept him on the road, leaving Naomi to navigate this difficult transition largely alone. She shifted her energy toward television appearances, writing, and advocacy work, especially in health and social issues that resonated with her personal experience. However, this new public role added a different kind of pressure. Behind the scenes, Naomi struggled with more than just her physical health. The combined demands of recovery, public expectations, and managing a blended family created emotional tension. The spotlight's glare remained, and the need to appear strong for both fans and family intensified her internal struggles. Moments of joy coexisted uneasily with a growing sense of isolation and worry. Larry's absence from his tour dates made Naomi feel more isolated. The emotional connection between them was strong, yet distance created additional emotional separation. The household atmosphere suffered because hidden tensions between family members emerged during times when their actual duties and health situations changed. Their attempt at building a support network proved to be unstable because they faced conflicting obligations and their hidden worries remained unaddressed. Naomi's mental health also showed signs of decline throughout this time period. People developed anxiety and depression because their illness stress combined with their work interruptions. Public appearances sometimes concealed her deeper emotional suffering, which she experienced in silence. Naomi's public strength started to show her private suffering, which became more obvious with each passing day. Her daughters, Winona and Ashley, watched their mother fight her battles with bravery, while they also witnessed the growing cracks in their family relationship. Naomi's health issues and their changing relationship created new challenges, which made their emotional separation more intense. The family attempted to stay united, yet the pressure between members became clear. Naomi's fight against hepatitis C marked a critical moment that transformed her work life, her personal existence, and her marriage. The situation showed that people face both success and difficulties because medical conditions bring different challenges. The damage to her physical and mental state would create long-lasting effects that would shape her future decisions and obstacles. As Naomi confronted the realities of her health, undercurrents of emotional distress began to surface more violently, leading to a moment that would forever alter her marriage and reveal the depths of her pain. The breaking point incident. The intimate struggles between Naomi and Larry reached a crisis point that stunned those closest to them for decades. One evening, while Larry was away on tour, Naomi received a phone call from a woman claiming to be in love with Larry, describing him as her soulmate and sharing personal details. The brief, unsettling conversation ignited a wave of emotions within Naomi that would lead to a devastating and shocking episode in their marriage. In the hours following the call, Naomi withdrew, avoiding speaking to Larry altogether. When he returned home, he found a scene of destruction. Wedding photos ripped apart, his belongings scattered on the lawn, and Naomi holding a gun. In a moment, heavy with emotional pain and betrayal, she pointed the gun at Larry and pulled the trigger. Larry later confirmed the shot was indeed fired, though miraculously, none of his physical wounds were life-threatening. Larry chose not to call the police or make the incident public. Instead, he quietly left the house for several weeks, allowing space for healing and reflection. Naomi reached out with an apology, and the couple agreed to keep the incident private, shielding their family and public image from further turmoil. Larry described this agreement as an act of love and a decision made for the sake of their marriage and their daughter's well-being. This moment wasn't just about infidelity or mistrust. It was a manifestation of Naomi's deep psychological pain. Larry has explained that her actions were not rooted in anger or malice, but rather as a desperate cry for help from someone overwhelmed by fear and emotional suffering. The event illuminated the complexities of living with mental illness and the fragile line between love and pain in their relationship. Despite the severity of the incident, Larry chose forgiveness and reconciliation over separation. He understood that abandoning Naomi could exacerbate her fears of abandonment and isolation, fears that had haunted her since childhood. Their continued commitment reflected the complicated balance between loyalty, love, and the hard realities of struggle. The general public was not aware of this event because it remained concealed for several years. The 1995 television movie included a fictional reference to a similar situation, but failed to establish its truth because neither Naomi nor Larry confirmed its existence. The 2025 documentary showed Larry revealing the actual events that had remained hidden for nearly 3 decades because he wanted to disclose everything that had remained secret. The breaking point developed through multiple occasions, which created emotional difficulties and concealed suffering throughout multiple years. The study demonstrated how mental health conditions affect people by showing their impact on social interactions, which other people cannot easily detect. The relationship between Naomi and Larry reached an essential moment that determined everything that would happen in their future. Larry and Naomi maintained their romantic relationship despite the emotional damage from that night because they developed a better understanding of their future. Their path showed how they conquered different challenges, which proved their strong emotional connection. The conclusion of this distressing period created fresh difficulties that would involve multiple years of suffering and treatment work toward mental health understanding and recovery. The intense crises within their marriage brought Naomi's internal battles to the surface, ushering in a new phase where silent suffering gave way to necessary care and gradual recovery. Silent suffering and recovery. As the new millennium unfolded, Naomi Judd's internal battles with mental health grew more intense, even as the world continued to admire her strength and talent. Those closest to her witnessed a quiet but profound decline, one that remained hidden from the public eye. Naomi was no longer just a country music icon. Behind closed doors, she was a woman grappling with severe depression, anxiety, post-traumatic stress disorder, and debilitating sleep disorders. Each condition compounded the others, creating a weighty burden that colored every aspect of her life. Her struggle was not static. There were moments of hope and connection, interspersed with episodes of deep despair. Naomi spent significant time in inpatient care facilities, environments where she could focus on healing without the distractions of fame or family responsibilities. These stays allowed for round-the-clock medical and psychological support, a necessary respite for someone battling conditions that affected her mind as much as her body. The treatments were arduous, but they provided periods of clarity and relief from her darkest thoughts. One particularly challenging therapy Naomi underwent was electroconvulsive therapy, a treatment involving controlled electric currents aimed at alleviating severe depression when other methods fail. Despite its sometimes controversial reputation, this approach offered Naomi a chance at regaining some control over her mental state. Yet even with intensive treatment, the road to recovery was neither linear nor easy. The years between 2011 and 2013 stand out as especially difficult, marked by moments of disorientation, isolation, and increasing detachment from those she loved. Larry Strickland remained a steadfast presence throughout these difficult years, often acting as both caregiver and emotional anchor. He observed Naomi's cognition clouding. She struggled to recognize familiar faces or recall important events, a heartbreaking progression for someone so vibrant and connected earlier in life. Larry described many instances where Naomi withdrew not only from public life, but even from her family, retreating into a world shaped by the shadows of her illness. His helplessness was palpable as he witnessed the woman he loved slip further away. The video footage presented only rare glimpses of Naomi, which showed her physical and emotional decline. Her stage presence, which once sparkled, became dimmer when she showed vacant, distant eyes, together with her fragile body. The images displayed from the performance showed Naomi as a confident performer to the world because they revealed the hidden impact of her mental health condition. The world showed Naomi a dual existence because she maintained public success while she struggled with mental health issues. Naomi spent her suffering years, which showed her bravery to discuss her mental illness during advocacy work and storytelling whenever she had the opportunity. She used her mental health work and health campaign participation to support others through her personal experiences while she dealt with her own difficulties. The artist established a permanent legacy through her decision to disclose her personal experiences. The study exposed the concealed difficulties of mental health disorders, which led to increased understanding and sympathy from others. The ongoing nature of Naomi's disorders made it extremely challenging for her to handle daily life. Despite the existing advancements and available support, the combination of sleep disturbances and constant anxiety, together with her traumatic memories, made every moment of her life a difficult experience. The family system changed its operation patterns to meet her requirements, while maintaining a balance between providing assistance and preserving her personal dignity. Naomi's battle against dark forces transformed Larry from being her husband and supporter into an important role of advocate and spokesman. Their shared experience of fighting through illness created a bond that included understanding and shared suffering that only their close friends could experience. Larry's courage to share their story publicly would soon open the door to broader conversations about hope, struggle, and healing. Larry's confession and advocacy. After Naomi's passing, Larry Strickland stepped forward, breaking years of silence to reveal the profound complexities of their marriage and her battle with mental illness. His candidness in interviews and in the Lifetime documentary, The Judd Family, Truth Be Told, offered a rare glimpse into the struggles that lay behind the public successes. Larry spoke not only as a widower, but as an advocate, determined to shed light on the realities of living with a loved one facing severe mental health challenges. One deeply significant revelation concerned a long-rumored incident in which Naomi fired a gun at Larry after discovering his infidelity. Larry confirmed the event with a simple yet powerful admission. "It really happened, that's all I can say." He framed the moment not as one of blame, but as a manifestation of Naomi's deep psychological pain. To him, her actions were cries for help, expressions of overwhelming emotional turmoil born from fear and hurt, and not malice. Larry also shared the immense difficulty he faced in supporting Naomi through the darkest days of her illness. In the chaotic months before her death, Naomi's energy waned significantly. He tried to encourage healthy habits like eating and exercise, but now reflects that he could have shown greater gentleness and understanding. "If I had known where she was, I would have been much softer on her," he admitted, conveying a painful awareness of the limits of his own support. His reflections paint a picture of relentless caregiving spanning more than a decade. Larry was by Naomi's side almost constantly for over 13 years, ensuring she received the care she needed amidst the unpredictable nature of her mental health. Their shared path was one marked by love, exhaustion, and unwavering commitment, highlighting the often invisible work behind supporting those with serious illness. Beyond personal loss, Larry has used his platform to advocate for mental health awareness. He seeks to break down stigma and barriers that prevent people from seeking help, emphasizing the vital role of empathy and compassion. His message underscores that love and understanding can profoundly affect the lives of those battling mental illness, a lesson drawn from first-hand experience. Larry's advocacy is also a testament to the complicated nature of relationships touched by mental health struggles. He acknowledges that forgiveness, patience, and resilience were essential to navigating their fractured marriage. His willingness to speak openly challenges the silence that so often surrounds difficult personal issues, inspiring others to find strength in sharing their stories. While Larry's public statements reveal much, they also carry the weight of loss and lasting heartbreak. His quiet dignity at Naomi's memorials and the restrained way he carries his grief speak volumes about the depth of his sorrow. In stepping into the light, Larry offers both a tribute to Naomi's legacy and an urgent call for greater understanding. His journey from private supporter to public advocate closes one chapter and opens another, one rooted in hope that their story will inspire deeper compassion for those quietly battling inner pain. Through Larry's honesty, we are invited to look past the headlines and accolades and instead recognize the emotional struggles and human vulnerabilities that often remain hidden behind fame's shining surface. The raw honesty Larry brings to their story reminds us that behind every star is a complex, often painful reality, one worth acknowledging and supporting with empathy and care. Legacy and family aftermath. Naomi Judd's death in 2022 shocked the music world, but what followed revealed how fragile and complicated her family relationships had become. One of the most unexpected developments was the disclosure of her 2017 will, which left her entire estate, estimated at around $25 million, to her husband, Larry Strickland. Her daughters, Winona and Ashley Judd, were not included, sparking public speculation and raising questions about unresolved family tensions. Winona, who had shared both her career and much of her life with her mother, reacted with visible surprise but chose a calm and respectful public response. She stressed that her love for Naomi mattered more than any inheritance and expressed a desire to focus on honoring her mother's legacy rather than engaging in conflict. Her words reflected a commitment to healing and preserving Naomi's memory. Ashley Judd provided further insight into the family's struggles through her memoirs and essays. She spoke openly about emotional distance and feelings of abandonment during her childhood. Ashley described a bond shaped by deep affection as well as lasting pain, revealing how fame and personal struggles complicated their relationship and made reconciliation both difficult and deeply desired. The family experienced difficulties in their communication for the entire duration of Naomi's last days. The released voicemails showed 3 emotional states, which included frustration, hurt, and misunderstandings, while they displayed the family's difficulties in achieving their connection. The recorded content demonstrated how emotional wounds and mental health problems can create obstacles that prevent loving connections from forming between people. The discovery of journals and letters after her death helped people understand Naomi better. She used her personal writings to show her feelings of guilt and regret, while she expressed her wish to restore peace with others. Her statements showed that she understood the pain she created toward others while she tried to achieve empathy through her public persona as a powerful musician. Larry Strickland later spoke openly about his experiences, becoming an advocate for mental health awareness. He explained how Naomi dealt with her challenges during their marriage while he showed the need for compassionate assistance. His personal insights changed how people viewed the situation because he shifted it from a scandal to an empathetic understanding, which focused on mental health matters. The family decided to celebrate Naomi's memory despite their deep emotional pain. Naomi and Winona entered the Country Music Hall of Fame, which turned their mourning period into a permanent honor of her artistic achievements. Winona delivered an emotional speech that recognized their joint accomplishments while showing the complex dynamics of their relationship. The story of Naomi Judd shows both her accomplishments and her destructive experiences. Her musical heritage informs people that famous individuals endure private suffering, while empathetic understanding serves as a means to achieve healing through their challenging journey. Naomi Judd's life was a powerful mix of brilliance and deep personal struggle, and Larry Strickland's reflections help reveal the human story behind the legend. Their journey reminds us that love is complicated, and that empathy is essential when facing mental health challenges. If this story resonated with you, don't forget to like and subscribe, and continue watching with the next video on your screen for more real stories behind the headlines.